What's up everyone, Chris here bringing you another video. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe for future content on a few builds on the channel, as we're doing another video on the 4Runner behind me. Also Mustang content and any other content that I will try to bring to the channel, and just there's dumb video shorts of me playing guitar or attempting to, so you will get that and a whole bunch more. I'm going to be trying to upload, since it's I guess 2023, so that's my New Year resolution if there is one. I really don't have one. It's all the same to me in the end. But I'm going to try to give you guys more videos weekly, at least once or twice. I don't have a schedule laid out yet, but I know Monday will probably be like an upload day every week. So last video I talked about basically covering the 4Runner, my girlfriend picking it up, kind of the outlook that she wants for the car itself. I did a little short clip of the wheels, the Method race wheels, the suspension kit ideas, the height of it, and I kind of went over basically, is the 4Runner worth kind of the money? And in the end, of course it is. There is really no negative reason not to buy a 4Runner, unless you just don't like Toyota, or you just think the 4Runner is the ugliest SUV truck and it sucks that bad and you've had a horrible experience. Well, this video is probably not for you. But I saw the feedback was kind of positive for this, video, the previous one, and the channel itself being so small. But we're almost at 8,000 subscribers, so we're gonna try to get to that. And we're gonna cover basically in today's video the things that I kind of don't like about the 4Runner. And every vehicle has it, but I think this is a good video or something like that, an idea for people that are, possibly maybe looking to buy a 5th gen 4Runner, and somebody that can give you just a little advice on experience, and having not owned one, but been with somebody that has owned one for almost 3 years. So let's get into it. All right, so jumping in right to the video, basically this is a 2014 5th generation limited 4Runner. I have learned a couple things from people commenting. Like I said, I don't know everything there is about the 4Runners and the different trim levels, but this is the kind of things that I don't really care for the 4Runner. First off, the interior is not the worst. The interior it's pretty good. It's a pretty good layout. But like I said in the previous video, how the controls, it's just like the armrest and how the controls like sit, there's like that huge gap. And I totally understand why. You have your little compartments here and there, and that's just how it's set up. I'm probably not used to that because I come from driving a 05 Tahoe every day as a daily vehicle, and it's set up different. And the armrest basically like sits right here, and you have your controls kind of just in arm's length to where you're not having to reach up and stuff. I've gotten used to that. It's still not my favorite, but I feel like the interior lacks the technology. I've watched videos previously, and Toyota owners are basically have the same complaints. The technology kind of lacks. Toyota did try to upgrade it, but I feel like their whole technology department was just not on it for 10 years. People thought the Tundra was boring because it really didn't get it got a facelift or whatever in 2014, and that was it. They stuck with the same kind of body style concept, from a rounder to more of a square, sharper edge, like the Mustang from 07 to basically 2020. They didn't really do that with the 4Runner almost, but they kind of, the 2014, this is what it is. But they did upgrade the facelift, I think, in 2016 to 17. But it's just the radio is not the best. The sound system isn't the highest quality as it should be. It is a JBL sound system, but I mean, you gotta love the push to start. I don't know. To me, the radio just lacks. I understand it's 2014. It's basically almost 10 years old. But I feel like, if you're spending that type of money on a car, especially the limited, it should be a little, higher grade than the other trim levels. But overall, there's no cracking or anything in the interior. The seats are pretty comfortable. You got your heated and cooled air seats, which I do like. Overall, the vehicle's nice, and it's pretty, roomy for itself. Like I said, they do have the one that has the 3rd row, which honestly doesn't really make sense to me because this isn't a huge vehicle. The only other complaint I have is doing like a 3-point turn. It's not super hard, but it's, in the Tahoe, I can basically, the turning radius is a lot better making turns or something, like a U-turn or something. But those are really my only complaints. The lighting, we had to add the LEDs to see better. The factory lights, they just kind of suck, but I guess it's that in-between era for, different manufacturers, the big three, or Toyota itself, or maybe Honda, where they were basically kind of getting into, making their lights better. It's not like a BMW where, you hop in it and you don't really have to change out the lights because they're super bright anyways. Low beams look like high beams coming at you, and then you're like, fuck this person, and then you throw in your high beams and realize it's just their low beams. But every car nowadays comes with pretty good lighting overall. So, but I come from a Mustang where that is, the new edge. You have to put HIDs in them, the diode dynamics ones that I have with the fog lights. But overall, those are my only real complaints about this vehicle. The gas mileage, like I was talking about in the previous video, highway, city combined is about 19 to 20. It's a good everyday vehicle. Hey, there goes one right there. It's, overall, it's a good everyday vehicle. So those are my only complaints overall. But once this vehicle is finished with this lift kit and the wheels and stuff like that, it's gonna look damn good. So yeah, those are my only complaints overall. It's a great vehicle. All right, guys, that's going to do it for me in this video. So I brought along my girlfriend, and she's going to talk and kind of give her rundown and experience of owning the vehicle, because she is the owner. So we're going to go ahead and let her, basically go over the same stuff that I have, but from her, and she is a 4Runner owner. And basically, I hope this advice or experience coming from a person that owns one makes you make that decision if you're, on the fence about buying one, or looking at this color, or just looking at the trim models or whatever. So here she is.
Hey guys, so this is my 4Runner, though Chris would like to pretend it's his sometimes.
It is, because it's nice.
What'd you say?
It's because it's nice and I like it.
Yeah. Well, I love my car. It is the best thing, materially that's happened to me. I love it. I would say top reasons why I love it are simply how big it is. I go camping a lot and kayak. I enjoy getting to use my car for those things. It's also just nice to have, to be able to help friends move, stuff like that. The interior of the car is probably one of my favorite things about it. I think for me, when we were looking for a 4Runner, I knew I wanted a limited because I wanted some of the bells and whistles, and if I'm getting a used car, which obviously I was, then I wanted to be able to maximize the amount I was spending and really get a nice interior of the car. So I like the interior. Only real complaint with that is cup holders, and it doesn't have the best cup holders for your main drinks or your second drink. Don't really love it. Otherwise, gas mileage is average, what I would kind of assume for a car this big. I think Chris said it's 19-20 city highway combined. Yeah, otherwise I don't really have many things that I dislike about it, other than cost of repairs, because it sucks to have a bigger car that costs more to repair things, oil change, things like that. Yeah, that's annoying that the oil change takes more quarts than a regular car would. I guess it's 7.5 or something.
Well, it's 7.5, and then they recommend 020, which is full synthetic, which I would stick with that. And my preference, Mobil 1.
So I use full synthetic, but it sucks that you have to pay an extra charge for the additional oil. Yeah, so just expensive to maintain, I would say, but otherwise it's pretty good. It doesn't have a bunch of issues. It's got 160,000 miles on, 170, and I've had it for 60 of those. So I would say it's doing really well. It still has its original X-Radius shocks and everything, so that's pretty substantial that it has not gone out yet, but hopefully we will fix this with the lift kit before that happens and I don't have to worry about it.
Well, I think the reliability isn't... I think this car is more cost efficient versus, in my opinion, versus what you said. The oil changes cost money, but, if you drive a lot...
You don't have a bunch of repairs.
Yeah, overall, we haven't done diddly dick to this car besides rear brakes one time or twice or whatever, but, you have the original tires that you bought with it. Why did you pick the Method wheels? Like, what made you go with that?
I like clean and simple. I don't love the outside of the Limited, actually. That's one thing that I just don't really appreciate. Like, the front of it is, and mine is missing a piece of chrome, so classy.
Do you like the chrome, or do you?
I don't like the chrome.
You could go without it.
Honestly, my goal is to cut it off like right here so that the extra bit of bumper on the front is just plain gone. I've seen a couple people do it and it looks really good. But then you leave the parking sensors and stuff like that because it's nice to have those on there, especially parking in the city sometimes. But yeah, I don't really love the look of the Limited, but I don't love the front grille look of the SR5s either, or the TRD Pros.
I love the TRD Pro, the way it looks.
The little teardrop things, not for me. I don't like it. But yeah, I mean, otherwise I love my car. Like I said, a little expensive to maintain, but it's really reliable. It's gonna last her forever, so I'm not too worried about it.
What about the lift kit? What made you go with, or?
Oh well, what made me go with Method wheels? I like simple, kind of basic stuff. I don't like super gaudy, ridiculous wheels and things like that. I like the Method wheels because I like matte black. At some point, I also hope to put the covers on the handles and to replace these with the matte black that would match. It's beeping at me now. The matte black that would match this, because you can see the chrome is kind of like cracking off and it doesn't look the best. All the other materials on this car look great, so just gonna delete the chrome, but not in the same way that everyone else does. Haven't quite figured it out yet. But yeah, Methods, I like the way they look. I like the gold finishing pieces on there. I like that you can trade out those nuts. I think that way you can switch it up a little bit. Lift kit wise,
some of the bolts that go on the outside of the wheel, the display ones, yeah.
Lift kit wise, I am not super picky. I go camping and I'm off-road like the tiniest bit, but I'm not like a big off-roader. Not gonna be doing any like grappling whatever. So I really just need something like a little bit higher. It's more for aesthetics than it is for like super functionality, but I do want to be able to be a little bit higher off the ground, and that with the new wheels and tires will all look wonderful.
Have you picked out tires? Are you thinking maybe the Toyos, Nittos?
I'm thinking the Ridge Grapplers.
Ridge Grapplers, okay.
I think so, but I haven't quite decided. It comes down to like cost and really just how it's going to sound on the road. I do most of my daily driving just interstate back and forth, and I work from home half the time anyway, so I don't want something that's so off-road it's ridiculous to be not off the road.
It's kind of quiet in there. It's going to be loud.
Yeah,
a little bit.
I haven't quite figured that out, but I need to do a little more research. I think Ridge Grapplers will probably be it.
Okay, so I mean, we basically covered everything, you know, my dislikes for the 4Runner, kind of what your taste is in the 4Runner and why you have it. So the last question is that I always hear for 4Runner owners, you know, once they buy a Toyota 4Runner or any basically Toyota truck, you know, they either got out of, say, a Tahoe or maybe a Ford or a Dodge or whatever you owned. Once they get into a 4Runner, they only sell it because it has too many miles, or they can get more money out of it, or they go to a different 4Runner.
I probably don't intend to sell this one. I would hope to ride it until I have money to buy a brand new one or another used one that's newer at that point. To me, like, it's a lifelong vehicle. That's part of why I wanted a Toyota. And to just like get rid of it, unless you're gonna trade up, doesn't make sense.
Well, that's the question.
Why would you trade out of Toyota after you have?
Yeah, so there's your answer. So would you say it's true that once you buy a 4Runner, you only downgrade to, well, not downgrade, but you only for the year generation, if you like the other, say a third gen, I like the third gen, or would you buy a new 4Runner and get rid of your old one?
At some point, I could see myself wanting a bigger car than this, and at that point, I would be wondering if I would stick with Toyota or not, because I don't like the way the Sequoia looks. Yeah, it's functional. Yes, it's a great car. Obviously, it's Toyota, but the aesthetics on the outside are really not for me right now. So unless that changes by the time I do want a bigger car, then I probably would go with something else maybe, but I would want to get rid of this one because this is like the perfect car.
Last question. What's your favorite thing about the 4Runner itself?
It's how it makes me feel when I drive.
Makes you feel like a real one?
I used to drive a Mazda 3 hatchback. It was like a 2008. I loved it. It was safe and easy, and it was super cheap to drive and maintain, but I liked feeling bigger on the road. I like, as someone who has like hydroplaned off the road before, I like feeling a little more secure, and I just like how much space it has.
So you recommend people should go buy one of these?
I mean, everyone who has been happy with it, so.
Okay, well, I think that's good. I think that's gonna do it.
Okay.
Thank you for your time, and
You're welcome.
yeah, make this very professional. I think Toyota was gonna, you know, maybe think this is a commercial for them until you said you hate the Sequoia. It's part of their lineup. All right, guys, that's gonna do it for this video. You heard it from the owner's words herself, what she thinks, her vision for this truck, why she chose it, and answering the Toyota question. Basically, once you're a 4Runner owner, you stick with being a 4Runner owner unless, you know, you're just getting a bigger vehicle or something. So then you decide whether you want to get a Toyota and stick with them or hop to something else. But that's going to do it for this video, guys. I appreciate every single one of you stopping by. I hope you all had a good Christmas and a happy New Year. I hope your resolutions or whatever it is work out for you. And we're going to upload at least once a week on this channel starting Monday. So this video comes out on Monday. But that's going to be the schedule I'm sticking to now until we start rolling the ball more on getting the parts for this, the 4Runner itself, and the Mustang, and moving forward. So that's going to do it for this video, guys. I appreciate every single one of you stopping by. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe for future content, and yeah, it just helps the channel out. So let's get to 8,000. That's my New Year's resolution goal right now, is to get to 8,000 before the end of January. And January is the longest month of the year, so it feels like, you know what, 90 days in this month or something like that. Anyways, have a good one, and I will catch you next week.